This will demonstrate parametric design of lead frames in CAD Design Software. We'll start by running the tips2 command and set our default standards to the A1 style. Set our tip distance to 4.7, lead angle to 15, lead width to 0.097, lead gap we'll set to 0.07. We'll make 22 leads. This will draw the basic start of a quarter quadrant of the lead frame tips. The command can also do custom lead frame tips by drawing a polyline. We draw a construction line similar to the polyline extension, but we can also make a custom angle. We run the tips2 command. We can select the auxiliary line to use as a guide. This will then cause the lead tips to follow that particular angle. This allows for very custom settings of the lead tips for the array. Click OK. Then we'll need to array the leads, so we'll remove the construction lines. And then we'll run the lead array command. Now we'll need to intelligize this lead tips. These are just open construction lines of the lead tips themselves. They can be modified with the vertex command. You can modify them by the vertices and make them wider. So we'll run the lfintel command. And we'll make sure we set our distance to pin to a value of 0.2 and the pin size to 0.07. We'll pick OK. And we'll just select our lead tips. We're prompted for pin 1. And we'll go ahead and number the pads. Next we'll create the goal wing patterns. Now that we have our L1 part, we'll run the lead frame command, and we'll use a pre-designed layout from our library. If we were to edit the parameters, we could change the length, the leads, size and shape, different retainer types for the sides, number of sides. We can also set parameters for tie bars and downsets. So we'll use the predefined lead frame from the library, and we'll pick create and block. This will create the lead frame pattern, the goal wings, in the drawing as a blocked intelligent part. So now we can see that the goal wings are set. The foot parameter, extended parameters. There's a die bar. There's a place for a die mount. So now we'll need to create the connections between the lead tips and the actual lead frame goal wings. For that we'll use an automatic command called netlistgen. Well, first we'll need to set the refdes of L2 to this particular part. So now we can see that there's part L2. That's the reference designator for this lead frame. Now we can run our netlistgen. And we'll select our first part from the list as component L1. This will analyze the part and let us know how many pins are in that particular part of L1. Then our second part will set for L2 and lets us know that there are a number of pins of 352. We'll select the store the new netlist in the drawing and we'll draw the rats topic, create nets. This will create the rat line connections between the goal wings and the lead tip pattern. Now we'll need to create the conductive lead frames, the paddles between the two parts. Right now these are just rat net connections. These will be used as guides. So we'll run the route frame command. We'll set our reference diagram L1 and L2. For the straight distance to lead, we'll type in a value of 0.1. The straight segment we'll set to 0.05. The vertical distance and angle construction lines we'll use 6 degrees. 10 degrees for that construction line and 1 degree for the second construction line. Then we'll click OK. And the command will analyze the two parts together. It will compensate for the straight distance and for the degrees for the construction lines. The construction lines will create the vertices, the vertex points, for the bends in the lead frame paddles themselves. After it's done calculating, it will draw the polyline connections, which are now metal conductive traces. We can see that it's connected to each one of the lead tips, and they are set to the correct angle. Now that the lead frame pattern has been created, a die can be placed to make the connections within the lead frame itself. For this we could use the place die command. We could select a die from our libraries using the Use Selected Die button. This will place the die within the drawing. At this point, a net list could be selected to read in the connections list, similar to the other demonstration video. For this one, we could use the auto create net list. And of course, each one of the pins can be edited. Set that as unused. See that when I set the unused for pin 1, now there is no bond wire that connects the two.